Hello there, and welcome to the Proudly Zambian podcast. This is a place where we shine a spotlight on local legends, innovative products and services, and the incredible spirit that makes Zambia truly great. I'm your host, Rose Chikotola. So, let's think local first, have some fun, and show the world exactly why Zambia rocks. Welcome to another insightful episode. Today we are diving into something that affects every single Zambian, and that's money. How we earn it, save it, grow it, and use it to build a future that works for everyone. Joining me is a special guest from Zambia Industrial Commercial Bank, aka ZICB, a proudly Zambian bank that's rewriting the script on what inclusive banking looks like. Hi, Luke.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me today.
It's good to have you. Thank you so much for being on our podcast. And it's a tradition here.
Okay.
Before we get into the serious things,
We don't like serious
the
things.
nitty-gritties,
All right.
we want to get to know you.
Okay.
So I've got a few questions for you.
All
Are
right.
you ready?
Yes. I hope I
Are you
am.
sure?
I hope I'm ready.
Okay. Are you a cash person or mobile money?
I hate cash. So mobile for me, anything plastic is better than cash. I hate cash.
Okay.
The reason is simple. Every time I have cash, I spend it. So it never stays in the wallet. So my wallet is always empty. I rarely move with cash.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Interesting. So save or spend?
A bit of context. It's mostly save. And it's because I'm a person who is mostly focused on needs as opposed to wants. So I save a lot. And if I have to buy something, it's because I need it. Yeah.
So save.
Save, yes.
Great. Would you budget on a piece of paper or budget in your head?
I know literature says you have to write it down, but I'm actually I'm not a very good student of that. I budget in my head. I always have a long-term budget in my head. So most of the time, before I earn, the money is usually finished because I've already allocated it to something. And I go that way. Unless it's long-term investments, then I have to put it down on paper.
Put it down on paper. Okay,
Yeah.
that's great. Would you say it's easy to talk about money, or you skip that topic completely?
You have to talk about money. You have to
Okay.
talk about money all the time. I know sometimes it can be a very difficult conversation or topic, but
Yeah.
I think we should all learn to get to a point where we're comfortable about discussing that topic. Because, and again, if you're not comfortable with it, it means you know deep down that you might not be doing something right.
True.
So, yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. So talk about money. Yeah.
Okay, so let's bring it home. What's
Okay.
your favorite Zambian word?
Bwanji.
Bwanji.
I am a very sociable person, so I always start my interactions with a greeting. Yeah, Somli Bwanji, how are you? So Bwanji is my favorite Zambian
Bwanji.
word. Yes.
Okay, so Bwanji.
We normally Bwanji.
Bueno. Describe Zambia in one word.
Relaxed.
Relaxed.
It can be a good and at the same time it can be a bad thing. I feel we are a people that is kind of laid back, not too aggressive. Sometimes I feel we are not too intentional in what we want to do or where we want to go as a country. We like, I would say we like the easy life, you know, and it can be a bad thing because then you don't grow as fast as the other economies would grow. We don't exploit our potential to a level where we can compete on a global scale. So honestly, we could have been at the level of South Korea or Singapore or Malaysia, but we are laid back.
We're laid back.
Yeah.
Don't you think we're changing that narrative?
I
We're getting there,
I
right?
hope so. I hope the next generation that's going to take over from us is going to do a much better job because we owe it to the future generations to develop this country, and I hope we get there. I hope we become more aggressive.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Great. That's it for my questions.
Okay.
So now into wow. into the serious things and the reason why you're here on our episode today. Just give us a brief background of who you are and the institution that you represent.
Okay, so as you indicated earlier, my name is Luke Njovu. I'm a banker by profession. I've been in banking all my life. I would say more than 25 years. Started off in banking 1999. So I've lived banking all my life, and I'm now with Zambia Industrial Commercial Bank. It's the third bank that I've worked for in this market, and I'm having a great time there. I feel I'm home because what the bank stands for or is trying to achieve is really close to my heart, and that's why I find it very fulfilling to be part of the ZICB team. And I'm having a good time at ZICB, and I'm very, very pleased that I'm talking about this institution today.
Great. Yeah. So you've mentioned 1999.
Yes.
That's a long time.
It is.
and you mentioned that it's your whole life.
Yes.
Take us back to the beginning.
Okay.
What inspired you personally to get involved in financial services?
Okay, I think that's a very interesting question, because if I were to take you really back, I always wanted to be in finance. Actually,
the money guy.
Yeah, I wanted to be an accountant when I was in secondary school. I thought I was going to go into the business route, but my parents dissuaded me and took me into a path that was aligned to my hobby at that time. So I ended up doing engineering. So when I went to university, I studied engineering. I only practiced for a very short time in terms of just professional engineering practice. And then I joined Standard Chartered Bank as a management trainee. And from then on, I kind of diverted into banking, into my passion.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's how it all started. So when I joined Standard Chartered Bank, I went through the management trainee program and ended up in various roles and ended up into corporate affairs. And I did corporate affairs, I think, from about 2005. And I've been doing corporate affairs since. But I also have experience in retail banking. I did retail banking for some time. Did planning, strategy, and then managing sales and distribution, and so on and so forth. So from a brief perspective, that's what I've done. But other than just retail banking and corporate affairs, obviously I've done a bit of executive development as well. And done a number of roles. I did a stint outside banking at Zambian breweries. It was a great opportunity where I was director for corporate affairs. And being in that fast-moving consumer goods sector was an eye-opener for me. But I kind of still missed the experience of being in banking, and I thought I needed to come back home, and so here I am.
Yeah. Good you came back.
Yes, great to be here, honestly.
Okay, let's talk about financial literacy. How is that close to your heart for Zambians?
For Zambians, what I always say is that a person or a country that cannot control its money, cannot control its growth, cannot control its economy. Because the control of money dictates the growth of any sector. The flow of money is what drives an economy. So if you do not control money, even as a person, it means you will not allocate the money to the priorities that you've set for yourself. As a country, if we cannot control our banking sector, then we cannot drive the growth in the strategic sectors that we need to grow as a country. And that speaks to where we are as a country. That's my personal opinion. It speaks to where we are, because if you look at Zambia and the economy, the sectors that drive this economy, you find that we do not have a lot of Zambians playing in the sectors that are driving this economy. So be it retail, be it agriculture, be it mining. And it's because historically we haven't controlled the flow of money as a country. The financial sector in this country has predominantly been driven by local entities, foreign entities and foreign players. And the allocation of the credit is not necessarily aligned with what the priorities of the country have been. So if, for instance, you want to grow the mining sector and you want Zambians to be big players in that mining sector, you need someone to take a risk on the Zambian to grow the participation of Zambians in that sector. Interestingly, I was listening to someone, a TikTok personality yesterday, and he was talking about the secular economy that the Jews practice and how Israel develops its economy. And it's to do with the realization that the Jews have realized that they have to empower each other, support each other. So they take a risk on each other. So if I come to you and I say, I want to support your business, it means I'm taking a risk on you. And I have to know who you are. And that way, we kind of grow our societies. And that's how Israel or the Jews manage their businesses. So bringing it home to Zambia, I think that is what, for me, is really key to my heart in terms of financial literacy, is to bring it home and say, we need to develop a discipline first and foremost to understand what money is, but also take it further and say, if I have this money, I have this opportunity, how do I support the next person who is a Zambian? How do I support them to grow? And how do we support each other then as a community to uplift our standard of living? And for me, that's the level we need to get to. Yes, it's good to learn about money and how to manage it, but let's take it a step further and learn from what other countries have done. Support local businesses, support the fellow Zambian to go to the next level.
We always say, think local first.
Think local, and it's the only way we'll grow this economy.
That's really, I feel attacked somehow. But we are learning.
And I'm really happy to be putting you on the spot or getting that fire under your seat, because I think those are the conversations we need to be having. We need to start challenging each other. More often than not, you hear a lot of people complaining that as Zambians we don't support each other's business, and really it's a very sad situation, because we should be the first people to be the biggest fans of the Zambians that are doing something and making sure that we support them. So if you go into the grocery store tomorrow, think Zambian.
Nice. I love that. All right. Great. Let's take it back to the bank. What makes ZICB uniquely positioned to serve the financial needs of Zambians?
Oh God, I love
this. Tell us.
You know, as I said earlier, I feel like I'm home with ZICB, and because the mandate of the bank is something that is very, very close to my heart. It's something that I can live and breathe every day, and ZICB was created with the realization, first and foremost, that Zambian businesses needed support. And not just support to say you extend credit or you support them with trade finance, but they needed deliberate support. That deliberate. Being intentional to say we are going to support Zambian businesses. And that's why ZICB was created. So the stakeholders or the shareholders of ZICB came together and said, okay, we need to create a bank that is going to look local, making sure that that small person who is producing window frames by the roadside or door frames, that person who is doing doors by Buseko, or they do cross-border trading, how do they get support? Because hitherto, I mean, before ZICB, a lot of small businesses would complain that the financial services sector was not responding to their needs. And this was that response from government institutions that own ZICB to say, how do we support local businesses? So what ZICB does is that from that mandate of supporting local businesses, we say, okay, so what do? We look at institutions that look to commercialize or industrialize, those that are Zambian owned, and we say, okay, so what is your need? So most of our products that we have, yes, some of them are off the shelf, but often we do tailor-made solutions. So we will come to a client and see what their unique need is, and we will come up with a structure that speaks to that specific need. So, for instance, we have been supporting cross-border traders. And cross-border traders, obviously, you realize that these are really, really small businesses. And the challenge they have is usually cash flow based, because they don't have immediate funds to bring in the quantities that they need to import for their orders. So we came up with a structure that was speaking to that, and we grouped cross-border traders into specific sectors. So those that were bringing, for instance, auto parts, those that were bringing fruits, those that were bringing groceries, we put them into clusters. And then we kind of started funding those clusters. So if you look at a cluster for grocery importers, for instance, we group them into a group of 5 to 8 or 10, and they kind of self-guarantee each other. So they become sponsors of the next person. So you kind of vouch for the other person that this person is capable of doing the business that they intend to do, and they will pay back. So we've been very intentional, and that's the deliberate approach that we speak about at ZICB. Is we know that there are Zambian businesses there that want to make a difference, but their current financial status, their position, does not allow them to go into a traditional bank. And that's where we plug in. And in doing that, we've actually partnered with a number of institutions, institutions like the ZDA, Zambia Development Agency, to see how they can help us to provide capacity building. We've partnered with institutions like the Zambia Credit Guarantee Scheme, and that institution allows us then to take a risk where, for instance, an SME does not have sufficient collateral to meet their borrowing needs. Then we take these applications or products to the Zambia Credit Guarantee Scheme, and we come up with a structure that kind of speaks to that need. So ZICB has been doing that, and our desire is that we will get to a point where we start creating local corporates. Nice. We develop SMEs into local corporates, and then we take them into multinationals. Okay, we want to start looking at Zambians and say, okay, how can a Zambian start playing into the Congolese market as a multinational, or the Zimbabwean market, into the East African market. The president has been talking about the opportunities, for instance, that are in Angola. There is a need for dairy products, there's a need for chickens, there's need for beef. How do we support Zambian businesses to start exporting into that market? And that's the gap that ZICB is here to plug.
Great. I love that. And it's so nice to know that there's a bank that's really there to take the risk and say, okay, I will support a Zambian local.
Yes.
What word would you have for SMEs that feel, I'm too small, the bank is for big and large established companies? What do you have for them?
I mean, we've had that history. I mean, we've come from that school of thought where banks historically used to cater to big businesses. There was a time, as I said, I've been in banking forever, but there was a time when a classification for an SME, for instance, was a business with a turnover of, say, 10 million. That is not an SME.
That's not.
That's a local corporate, okay? And because of that history, it was very difficult for small businesses to walk into a bank and speak to a situation where a business wants to borrow for a chicken business, for instance, or a timber processing business. But we have come to that realization that to grow Zambian businesses, you need to start from that low level. Pick a business that has a turnover of 100,000, that has a turnover of 50,000, and help them grow. We've had businesses that we've grown from a small, I would say, meat processing business. And now we're talking about a company that has capacity to borrow hundreds of millions of kwacha. This company is borrowing in excess of 100 million. Okay, but they started small. It's a question of helping them first and foremost with governance, putting in place governance structures. Because again, as a bank, when you're coming to a bank, you should have in mind that you are going to have to run your business in a professional sense. You are going to keep your records. You are going to have governance structures in place. So either you're going to have your board of directors in place, or you are going to have somebody who is going to mentor you, who is a professional business person themselves, and they're going to handhold you to help you. But the most important thing is making sure, I'm speaking to SMEs here, make sure you have your records in place. Keep a record of what you are doing in your business, because it's that record that is going to speak for you when you approach a financial institution. So we come from that perspective when we're talking about financial literacies. We want to kind of help our SMEs to develop that habit, develop that behavior of keeping records. And those records then you take to a financial institution to demonstrate what your track record is. And the financial institution is going to analyze that track record and see what risk they can take on you, and whether you have capacity to pay back what will be given to you in terms of financing or whatever support you'll be extended to you. So that's where we are.
No, it's great that you've mentioned a particular aspect of being a community, collaboration, and partnerships. Like SMEs should look up to people that are already established and allow them to be mentored. And that's what the Proudly Zambian campaign is all about. So speaking of PZC, as we call it, from your personal perspective, what does it mean to be Proudly Zambian?
For me, being Proudly Zambian means being intentional, being deliberate. Okay? When speaking for myself, whenever I go into a supermarket chain and I am trying to buy something, if there's a Zambian product on the shelf, I'll pick a Zambian product. Okay, that's how proud I am as a Zambian. I will pick a Zambian product.
Love hearing that.
And it's not because I just want to develop a Zambian product and I'll pick any product. I realize that, yes, I have a choice as a consumer, and all consumers out there, even those that come to ZICB, they've got a choice. And for us at ZICB, actually, we realize that they've got a choice. So the important thing is, for a provider of a service or a producer of a product, they have to make sure that their product is of the highest quality and is competitive. Okay? So even for me, when I go into a store and I'm buying a product that is Zambian, I want quality. And I know I can find a Zambian product that is of comparable quality. Okay? So if a Zambian product is of comparable quality, for me, price comes secondary to quality. So I'll look at quality. Is a Zambian product the same quality as a product from, say, Zimbabwe or South Africa? If it is, even if it's 2 kwacha extra, I would rather pick a Zambian product. Because, again, I'm being deliberate and intentional. Why? I know that by consuming Zambian, I'm creating a job somewhere.
fellow
There is an
Zambian.
industry in Zambia that has
Yeah.
produced that product. And they need the cash flow for them to grow. They need the cash flow for them to pay their tax. They need the cash flow for them to expand. So even if I'm paying a kwacha, 2 kwacha extra, I would rather create a job in Zambia than create a job in a foreign country. So I am that deliberate. And I think we need to get to that level where we have to think
Definitely.
beyond the price differential that is speaking at the shelf and think about that Zambian out there that has woken up in the
behind that
morning to go to that
product,
industry to produce that product that is now on the shelf for you to enjoy. Let's be intentional that way.
Great. It's good you've touched on quality.
Yes.
Do you think we're changing the narrative now to say if we look at a Zambian product and say a foreign product and you're like, Zambian with quality. Are we changing that narrative?
We are.
We are, right?
And we are doing it in a big way. So I wish I could speak about specific Zambian brands, but I won't. I'll speak for ZICB.
Yes.
And my CEO, Ngendanyambe, always talks about choice. Okay, he is very, very big on choice. And whenever we're doing interactions with our stakeholders, he always mentions that we come to you not because we are Zambian and we're asking you to just support because we are Zambian. We understand that you've got choice, but we are coming to you because we know that the product we are offering, the service we are offering you is comparable in this market.
Yeah.
So that's the quality. Our drive is to excellence. When we do something, we don't take it for granted that we are Zambian and Zambians will support us. No. We want to produce a service that is comparable to any in this market. And we have been doing that.
A good message to all the businesses out there.
Yes, and we should be aspiring to produce at that level. We shouldn't take it for granted that, no, I'm Zambian, I'll produce something and Zambians should be forced to buy it. No, let's produce quality goods and services and present our case to the Zambian public and say, this is the product, and Zambians will be able to support. Why I say this, that we are doing it in a big way, we have participated this year in the Quality Awards by the Zambia Bureau of Standards. For ZICB, we were the best service provider in the financial services sector. But hold on,
Yes.
we took it further. With the support from ZABS, we took it further and we entered into the SADC Awards. Yes.
Wow.
We entered into the SADC Awards, and guess what? We won. Yes, so we are receiving the SADC Quality Awards in Madagascar next month as ZICB. That is the quality I'm talking about. So when we talk about being Zambian, it's not to take it for granted that you can just provide shoddy service. No, we are intentional. We are deliberate. We are going to support Zambian businesses.
Please repeat
but we
that.
bring quality to the table.
Please repeat that for our listeners out there. That's really great.
Yes.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
Okay. ZICB is a member of the Proudly Zambian campaign.
Yes, we are. Very proudly Zambian.
Yes.
Proud member, for that matter, yes.
Why do you think it's important for a bank such as yours to be part of such a movement and initiative?
Okay. Again, it's kind of, it's a thread that is flowing through the whole canvas of what we are trying to do. Being part of this campaign is for us a rallying call because we understand that there are Zambian businesses that have been driving the agenda of supporting or growing local industry. But we have realized that even those businesses need support.
Yeah.
As I said, it's always thinking, how does a Zambian business grow?
Yeah.
And bringing that support as ZICB. So being part of this campaign brings the other dimension of saying, not just looking at industries or productive sector, looking at agriculture, mining value chain, and so on and so forth, but can we bring a financial services player to complement and supplement that
I love
effort?
that, yes.
So that is where we want to meet the other players in this campaign to say, yes, we are proudly Zambian, but the enablement that you require in terms of financial support, financial services support, there's also this proudly Zambian financial institution that can support your agenda.
Great. It's really interesting that you do mention that the campaign is not only about manufacturers or that it concentrates on the agriculture sector, but we're also incorporating the service industry and the banks and the financial sector comes in. Yeah. Now, one would wonder, because at the campaign, we do have what we call the Proudly Zambian logo. Yes. How do you incorporate that logo into whatever it is that you do? Because you don't have a product where you can slap that logo on. How does that work for you as a bank?
It's something that we have incorporated into everything that we do. So if, for instance, you go on our adverts, all our adverts now carry the Proudly Zambian logo.
Yes.
Okay.
Look
so
out
all
for
our
it.
brochures, all our brochures. If you go on our website today, you look at the rates that we've posted today, you will see the Proudly Zambian logo.
Someone is showing him. Wow.
So we are incorporating it into everything because for us, this speaks to who we are. Yeah. You know, this speaks to why we were created, to bring that pride in the Zambian product, the Zambian service, and to lift up the Zambian flag and say we can be who we were intended to be. And we were intended to be a prosperous country. Yes. And it will only happen if we support each other, if we grow our businesses, we create the jobs that will allow us to distribute that wealth to the person on the street. And yes, we are proudly Zambian.
Nice. Then I'm taking you back to the bank.
Okay.
How is the bank using the digital tools like mobile banking, online banking, and then also just changing the narrative of cashless is, it's dangerous. Trading online it's not safe. How do you build that trust with your customers when it comes to digital tools?
Okay, I will start with the safety angle.
Yeah.
You need to be very, very astute when transacting on digital platforms. Okay, make sure that you have all the security in place. So don't share your login credentials. Don't share your card details unnecessarily. Okay, don't share your security passwords to your internet banking platforms or platforms like that. So be security cautious. Okay, that's one. Secondly, is it safe to transact online, or is it safe to transact on digital platforms? The answer is yes. Having taken the necessary precautions and making sure that you've managed your risk in terms of managing your security side, it is very, very safe to transact online. And not just it being safe, but it's also very efficient. It's also very effective. So it allows you to focus on what is important to either grow your business or to manage your career and, not spend too much time in the banking hall, for instance. So for ZICB, we were created with that in mind. When the bank was starting off in 2018, we created the bank with what we call the digital first agenda. So we started off as a digital bank. So every service and product that we were going to offer or we are offering now, we took digital platforms as the first step. So we have a full suite of digital services, internet banking, we have a mobile app, we have USSD, we have card services, we issue a MasterCard. We might grow to other card services later. But the important thing for that is, one, we realize that for us to be agile, to be competitive in terms of pricing, for us to be widespread in terms of reach, we needed to adopt a digital agenda. So that allowed us, for instance, when we started off with 2 branches. But we were able to offer services all across the country in the first 2 years after opening.
Wow.
To just give you evidence of that was the FISIP program, for instance. We participated in FISIP, I think, starting from 2019, somewhere there. We were the largest supporter of small-scale farmers in terms of FISIP collections, because as you would know, farmers have to make a contribution for them to access farming inputs under FISIP. So we were able to support more than 50% of the farmers, including those in rural areas all across the country, all the 10 provinces. 50% of FISIP participants were coming through ZICB.
Wow.
So we were talking about...
So you never left anyone behind.
No,
clearly.
We never left anyone behind.
Even the rural.
Yeah. So the important thing for us is we went into FISIP through collaborations. So we integrated our platform with mobile service providers and payment aggregators.
Partnerships.
So we went in with Zamtel, Airtel, MTN, Azona, 543 Consequence. These became more like our agents. So the small-scale farmers didn't have to go to a bank, didn't go to brick and mortar. No, they went to a booth. Nice. Or the agent went to their home to collect that contribution. So we were able to access about close to 300,000 small-scale farmers, actually more than that. So when we started off in 2019, I think FISIP used to cater to about maybe 700,000 small-scale farmers. More than half of those were on the ZICB platform. Now, here is what I talk about when I talk about quality, right? So this platform that we created was, yes, creating convenience for the small-scale farmer, because then they didn't have to travel 10 kilometers to go to a banking hall. We were going to their doorstep. Created convenience there.
Yes.
Now, the next leg was, who is running the FISIP program? It's the Ministry of Agriculture. What do they need? They need an effective platform that is going to allow them to, yes, pay the farmer or have a record of which farmer has made their contribution, and so that farmer can then access their FISIP inputs. We created a platform that was seamless, easy to reconcile for the Ministry of Agriculture. At the end of FISIP, within a short period of time, reconciliation was done real time. So for the ministry also, effective. That is the service quality that I talk about when we talk about excellence. Being a Zambian bank, yes, but we want to be a Zambian bank that provides quality service, making sure that we are creating solutions that speak to the challenges that any sector that we participate in is facing.
Great. And to our listeners, the Proudly Zambian campaign is a national buy local campaign that is promoting the production and consumption of quality. I repeat,
quality products and services.
Products and services. That's great. What would you have for SMEs that feel, maybe I'm not there yet to join the campaign, or even businesses that are in the financial sector that feel it's not for us for now to join the campaign? What word do you have for them?
Okay. So every journey starts with baby steps.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
And as much as you would say, no, I'm not there yet, you keep postponing it, it means you will not grow. Okay. So for any business out there that wants to grow and starts participating, for them to start participating in this economy, they have to be transparent. They have to expose themselves to the challenge of growth. And that exposure, unfortunately, comes with scrutiny in terms of quality. So if you are scrutinized for quality, then you get the necessary feedback for you to improve. It's only through that interaction with the public where you join the Proudly Zambian campaign. And once you join, you will obviously be taken through an assessment process to say, okay, what is the quality of your product? For you to carry that logo, there's that assessment,
Yes.
Yeah. For you to carry the Proudly Zambian logo, your product will have to be assessed. And that assessment process helps you to improve your product and service. So it's never too early to start. Yeah, you should have started. If you're a business, you should have gotten onto this campaign yesterday. it's something that will help you. Even if you're not ready today, expose yourself to the campaign. And with that exposure, then you will get the necessary mentorship, the necessary guidance on how you can then be accepted as part of the campaign and be given the necessary support that you require.
Nice. Maybe they don't know the benefits. What do you think the campaign has opened up for the bank, especially when it comes to visibility? Yeah.
Banking is a business of trust. Okay? And for us, we look at this as an opportunity to get validation, independent validation. Because we understand that the Proudly Zambian campaign is a campaign under the auspices of the Ministry of Commerce. The ministry is independent in terms of them wanting quality services, quality products to be produced in this economy. So when they endorse a product or a service, it's independent. It's something that is valid, it's authentic.
Yes.
So that validation for us is something that we require as a Zambian business, because it then speaks to the public to say this is a product, this is a bank that you can trust, because they've got this logo. It means that the necessary checks have been done on them, and they qualify to carry the Zambian flag. So for us, that's what we have aspired for, and it gives us that visibility then to stand on a podium and with our head high say we are proudly Zambian, and we carry a quality product and a service that is going to help the Zambian economy to grow.
Great. You know, it's funny how you've made talking about money so easy.
It's always easy.
Really? It's an uncomfortable topic for people, but you've made it easy for us to kind of talk about it and how the bank is out there taking a risk on small enterprises. Yes. Before you go, right, I would want you to finish this sentence for me.
Yeah.
Are you ready? When Zambians bank with ZICB, they are not just opening an account, they are opening the door to
a future that is prosperous for generations to come. They are opening a bank account, or they're joining a bank that is going to help them to realize their full potential, be it in their business or personal life. They are joining a bank that speaks to local wealth creation. We are here to create local millionaires.
Yes,
and we
will rich.
It's the only way we will grow this economy is if we create wealthy local people. Okay? We need to start pointing at Zambians and looking at them as wealthy Zambians, and those Zambians that will create companies that will employ other Zambians to create more wealthy Zambians. And that multiplier effect is what we require to grow this economy. And no one is going to do it for us.
Yeah.
Okay? No one is going to come from wherever to come and do it for us. We are here. We have to do it for ourselves. Yeah. So come and talk to ZICB if you are really serious about growing your wealth.
I love that. And don't think talking about money is some taboo topic.
No, it's not. For SMEs, those that would want to interact with a bank from a financial literacy perspective, they can come and talk to us. As I indicated earlier, we have collaborated with the Zambia Development Agency to offer capacity building workshops to SMEs. We play in the CDF space, for instance. Nice. There's a component of CDF that is to do with borrowing, where a business can borrow to grow their activities, and in those constituencies that require our support, we've gone in to offer capacity building to the SMEs that are borrowing under CDF. And we then, in some constituencies, actually, we manage the lending portfolio under CDF for the constituency, where we then do the disbursement to the SMEs. We do the credit monitoring, and we do the collections for them.
Nice.
But it's not just a question of extending the credit. As I said, it's a question of making sure that when you're extending the credit, the SME that is getting that money has got capacity to use that money and to pay back.
Nice.
The important thing is to pay back, because these are revolving funds and they should benefit the next Zambian. If you have benefited, make sure you pay back so that it benefits the next Zambian also to grow and create the necessary local wealth.
So even me as an individual with no business, I can come and be educated about finances?
You can. Nice. Yes. We will help you in any way you want to be helped. We will look at your portfolio and say, okay, what is your source of income? When you get that money, what do you do with it? What kind of plan do you have? I know, the funny thing that usually most people encounter, or you get to understand when talking about finances, is some people always say, no, I earn too little to save, for instance. Yeah. Or I will save when I have enough money. Or I will start investing when I start earning big money. It's not a good thing to do. Okay, saving and investment should start exactly where you are now. It should be an opportunity for you to start saving. Start small, especially if you are going to save in a product that pays you interest, for instance. Let that interest compound. Yeah. If you start early enough, you don't have to struggle when you are about to retire to start looking for millions. If you start in your 20s, just start saving bit by bit or investing bit by bit. By the time you're getting to your 40s, believe me, you will get to a point where you are 10 years from your retirement, but you're ready to retire because you started early. Okay? If you want to wait until you are 5 years from retirement to start saving, it might be too late. It's never too late, yes, but then you have to put in more effort and take more risk for you to get to a level where you'll be comfortable in retirement. So start early. Yeah.
No, thank you so much. And our takeaway is, guys, start early and always think local first. Thank you so much, Luke. It was nice having you on our episode today.
It's been a pleasure, and thank you so much for having me today. We look forward to more interactions in future, and we invite all our listeners to come and talk to ZICB.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for hanging out with us on the Proudly Zambian podcast. Want to be a part of the show? Share your story or give a shout out to a Proudly Zambian product or service you love. Just send a voice note to pzc@zam.co.zm or WhatsApp us on +260 952 489 717. This podcast is brought to you by the Proudly Zambian campaign and powered by Unicus Media, helping manufacturing businesses overcome brand invisibility and inconsistency through strategy, design, and visual identity. Email them at hello@unicus.media. Don't forget to subscribe on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, or wherever you're listening. Help us spread the local love. Until next time, keep thinking local first.